So if I was persecuted like the Jews were before they were put into ghettos, and I wasn't able to go to school, I wasn't able to get an education at all, I couldn't do any of the events with my friends, I couldn't go to dance school or whatever it was that I wanted to do. I mean, honestly, I feel like I would fight back. I definitely would fight back, and I know it would almost be suicide.
I can't imagine what it would be like to have all these restrictions, like to not be able to go to school, to have to distinguish myself from other people. I just can't imagine what that would be like, to be separated from people and to know that you can't be like them.
Was there one particular exhibit that that really made you think about something in your life?
I think it was the exhibit with Anne Frank, and I feel very close to Anne Frank. So when I went inside the exhibit, I was overwhelmed with emotion.
The shoes. The shoes.
And what did it mean to you?
How many people, or at least a fraction of how many people had died there. It represents what we have left of the time or the Holocaust. Shoes, it's like a lasting memory.
The one thing I'll always remember, well, it's kind of three things together. One is the room, the hallway filled with the shoes of the people who died at Auschwitz. Thinking about all those people who died, and that's all that's left of them. Aside, I don't know.
Just their shoes.
Just their shoes and the memory of all those people.
What was the other two things?
The transit car where people were packed into them for deportations.
The boxcar.
Yeah, the box car.
You went inside?
Yeah, I went into it. It just felt extremely ominous, and it made me really uncomfortable standing in it. It was really dark, and there was just one shred of light coming in from the slits in this tiny spot on the wall that could barely be called a window. And people suffocated in that car. They all, there were people who died in there. And just standing in there, I could feel the energy. It just felt awful.
When I went into the museum, I saw a thing that really personally affected me, and that was an oboe. And it was an oboe of a person who died at Auschwitz. And I remembered my sister, and she plays the oboe. She's 12 years old, and she also has a disability. And I think every time I remember that oboe, that she could have been the one who, during the Holocaust, could have died.
It's quite an honor to be able to meet one of the last survivors from the Holocaust, and she's one of the last generations that we'll ever see, and to know that I got to hear her story from her herself. She kept finding different ways to keep herself alive and determined to make it through to the end, and to never give up against all the odds.
You just came back from the Holocaust trip where you went in Washington, D.C. So tell me, how did it affect you?
I learned that it's very important to be accepting of other people, no matter their difference. Also, it helped me to remember that it is humanity's purpose to be kind and to have compassion.
Personally, I learned that people shouldn't be discriminated against based off standards set by society, whether physical or otherwise.
After going to the Holocaust Museum, I really found something inside me, and it changed me as a person. You know, it really made me think about other people and always be kind to other people, because one kind move that you make towards somebody else can act as a ripple effect and help other people in a bigger picture. And you can't stop evil, but maybe that one act of kindness can help.